If you were with us in Chapter 12, you already know something most Spanish learners don't. ER verbs and IR verbs, they're not a different animal. You met vender and escribir in the previous lesson and handled them like a pro. In today's lesson, you'll get 4 new ER and IR verbs to add to your toolkit, and we'll cement that future tense pattern. No new rules, no surprises, just more words and more sentences that you can actually use. And I have a shortcut for you that will unlock dozens of adverbs that you already know in English. It's one of Madrigal's magic keys that will have you speaking Spanish without having to memorize a whole bunch of new words. By the end of this lesson, you'll be building full sentences and asking pertinent questions with a new set of verbs. You'll have a whole new category of adverbs at your fingertips, and you'll understand every single word to a passionate love song by one of Mexico's most iconic rock queens. Vamos. Let's warm up your brain with a quick review. You learn that going to in Spanish is beautifully simple. Say these along with me. Voy a, va a, vamos a, van a. Add any infinitive verb to those, and you're speaking about the future. Easy peasy. Let's do one for practice. Let's ask, when is your mom going to buy a phone? Say this with me. ¿Cuándo va a comprar su mamá un teléfono? And now here is our answer. Mi mamá probablemente va a comprar un teléfono el viernes. Here's our future tense, va a comprar. Also notice when we name a day of the week, we say the day of the week, not on. So we would say el viernes, not en viernes. So take a quick screenshot of this. This is to remember when you're going to say you'll do something on a day of the week, we'll say the day of the week. So we'd say el lunes, el martes, el miércoles, el jueves, el viernes, el sábado, el domingo. That small detail makes your Spanish sound immediately more natural. And you see here this word probablemente? That is probably. Are you ready for Madrigal's magic key in Chapter 13? In English, words ending in ly, words like absolutely, constantly, finally, are adverbs. And in Spanish, that same ending becomes mente. You're not learning new words. These are all cognates. You're just putting on a Spanish coat. So say these along with me. And the part in blue, that's where the stress will fall. So we have absolutamente, constantemente, finalmente, generalmente, personalmente, posiblemente, probablemente, principalmente, naturalmente, normalmente, rápidamente. And here's my favorite one on this list, eternamente. You can see if somebody is eternally beautiful, you say they are eternamente bella, which is the name of the song you're about to listen to in just a moment. Here's our plan for today. First, we meet Alejandra Guzman, the queen of rock, and you're going to understand every part of the clip we'll listen to from her song Eternamente Bella, Eternally Beautiful. Then we'll expand your vocabulary with some new verbs that end in ER and IR, and we'll also get some new vocabulary words. We'll put all of this vocabulary together in the dialogues. We have 2 pages of dialogues, and we'll wrap up with the Spin and Speak challenge, where you put it all together. Trust me, you're going to surprise yourself with how much Spanish you already know. Here's Alejandra Guzman. She was born in Mexico City, and she's known as the Queen of Rock, La Reina del Rock, because she's sold more than 30 million records and has a Latin Grammy. She is a force. This nickname La Guzman is also the title of a biopic about her that's on Netflix. What makes her remarkable is where she came from. She was literally destined for the stage with famous parents. Her father was Enrique Guzman. He was a singer, and her mother was known as the last diva of the golden age of Mexican film. She was a woman who was part of the golden age of Hollywood. She pioneered musical theater in Mexico and was elected to various public offices, including the Senate. That is not a normal household, and Alejandra ran with every bit of it. She was one of the coaches on the first season of La Voz Mexico, The Voice on Telemundo in 2019, and her singer made it to the finals. She had a starring role on Amazon Prime's El Juego de las Llaves. She's toured alongside other singers Gloria Trevi and Paulina Rubio, some serious company. You see, Spanish is the official language in 21 countries, and every time we use music here in our lessons, it enables us to travel the world. Remember, music connects us and it helps our brains remember, and it's part of our plan for obtaining fluency. And that's why Alejandra Guzman is here in chapter 13. Okay, so let's get to her song. Eternamente Bella was one of Alejandra Guzman's first hits in 1990, and this clip we're going to listen to is packed with grammar. Let's look at the words in red first. Those are our mente words, the adverbs that would end in ly in English. So you can see we have eternamente bella, that's the title, eternally beautiful. And then we also have here desesperadamente, desperately. She's describing a passionate love. Right before this part, she's telling us how crazy in love she is. And then for that reason, she says, I'm going to be for you, for you, for you, eternally beautiful, beautiful. So you can see there's our future tense. I'm going to be, voy a ser. And then she continues that she'll be eternally beautiful with a gypsy spell. I'll be the enchanted princess that will love you forever, desperately, desperately. So in Spanish, she says, con un hechizo de gitana, that's the gypsy spell, seré la princesa encantada. I'll be the enchanted princess. And in the previous chapter, we also looked at the future tense. There's the base verb, ser, and the e. I will be. Seré la princesa encantada that will love you forever, que te amará por siempre. Again, that future tense, will love, te amará. And back to the desesperadamente, desesperadamente, eternamente, bella, bella. So desperately, desperately, eternally beautiful, beautiful. Then she goes on to say, in the night of the iguana, do you remember that Tennessee Williams play, also about passionate love? They made a movie version of it that was filmed in Puerto Vallarta. So she says, in the night of the iguana, I do a gypsy spell so that you continue to always be desperately in love with me. So, en plena noche de la iguana, hago un hechizo de gitana. There's that spell of a gypsy, gypsy spell, para que sigas siempre desesperadamente enamorado de mí. Notice we also have the word por appearing throughout. We have por eso, por ti, and por siempre. Por eso, for that reason, por ti, for you, and por siempre, forever. I know it looks like a lot, but she sings it slowly and clearly. This is comprehensible input at its finest, and I'm confident you're going to understand every single word. So are you ready? Let's listen. Por eso voy a ser por ti, eternamente bella, bella, con un hechizo de gitana, seré la princesa encantada, que te amará por siempre, desesperadamente, desesperadamente, eternamente bella, bella, en plena noche de la iguana. And look at you. You understood all of that. A song from 1990, The Queen of Rock, all of that grammar woven into all of those lines. Did you hear those targets? Por ti, por siempre, eternamente, desesperadamente, voy a ser. Excelente. This is real Spanish. This is the Spanish that's spoken by 500 million people, and you're now a part of that. Excellent. If you're enjoying this lesson, this would be a great time to hit that subscribe button. I upload a new lesson every single Sunday, and I want to make sure you get all of them. Now let's take a look at those ER and IR verbs. Recibir, to receive. Servir, to serve. Describir, to describe. And comprender, to comprehend or understand. And we're going to put all of these to work in that same pattern that we've been using for going to, speaking about the future. Let's also load up on some vocabulary that will appear in the dialogues and the Spin and Speak challenge. So we have a new location where? A bedroom, un dormitorio. Some different things, okay? Una carta would be one letter. And if you have many letters, we say muchas cartas. One package would be un paquete, and many packages are muchos paquetes. And if you have a letter, you have to put it in an envelope, un sobre, and you have to put a stamp on it, una estampilla. And you remember our little owl here to help us remember who are we speaking with? El notario público, the notary public. And of course, you remember I from our early videos. This magic word means there is and there are, so singular and plural. And we can also use it for the question, are there or is there? So, is there a bedroom? Hay un dormitorio? Magical also gives us a few expressions. It's necessary, es necesario. And the question form, es necesario? And if you want to say, that is terrible, we say, eso es terrible. Here's something I want you to think about. Fluency isn't about knowing more words. It's about using the words you know quickly and naturally without having to stop and translate in your head. And that's exactly what these dialogues train your brain to do. So no pressure, just read these along with me and let the Spanish flow. ¿Va a escribir un obituario el lunes? Por favor, profesor, eso es terrible. Definitivamente no voy a escribir un obituario. ¿Qué va a escribir? Voy a escribir una carta a mi mamá. ¿Es necesario comprar sobres y estampillas? Sí, es necesario comprar sobres y estampillas. ¿Va a recibir muchas cartas y muchos paquetes su mamá? Sí, mi mamá va a recibir muchas cartas y muchos paquetes. ¿Dónde va a recibir las cartas y los paquetes su mamá? Va a recibir las cartas y los paquetes en su oficina. ¿Hay un dormitorio en la oficina? Eso es ridículo. No hay un dormitorio en la oficina. Hay un calendario. ¿Va a hablar Carlos con el notario público? Sí, Carlos va a hablar con el notario público. Es necesario. ¿Va a comprender la conversación, Carlos? Sí, naturalmente, Carlos va a comprender la conversación. Excelente. Look at you. You just held a real conversation in Spanish about letters, offices, and the notary public. That is not beginner Spanish anymore. All right, here's the fun game we have in every lesson. Everything you've worked on today, the future tense, the new verbs, the new vocabulary, it all comes together here. And I'd like for you to give yourself a challenge. Set the timer, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes. See how many questions and sentences you can make using all of these words. And then drop your number down in the comments. We're trying to build a community of learners, of people just like you at every single level. And celebrating our wins is what makes learning here feel different than other places. So, vamos. So challenge 1 in the spin and speak activity is asking questions with all of those verbs. So, va a recibir or servir, escribir, comprender, vender, describir, all of these different things, and then you're asking who will be doing those things, okay? So let's do 2 for practice. ¿Va a recibir una carta su mamá? ¿Va a servir sándwiches, María? So pause it here and make as many questions as you can in 2 minutes. I'm serious. Try your best, and at the end of the challenge, put how many you made in the comment section. You can do it. So in your final spin and speak challenge, you're making sentences, and we're using the plural form. Okay, so you've got several people over here who are going to van a, same verbs as before, and then these are some of the things. So let's do one together. Mis padres van a recibir una carta. Your turn. Hit pause and see how many sentences you can create with all of these words in 2 minutes. Excelentísimo. Great job. Okay, before you go, 2 things. Eternamente Bella is on our Songs to Practice Spanish playlist. Keep listening. Every time you hear those mente words and you hear all of that other vocabulary, your brain is reinforcing the pattern naturally. That's comprehensible input working for you while you're not even studying. And number 2, read through chapter 13 in Madrigal's Magic Key to Spanish. There are many more exercises there to help you to continue building your fluency. If you're having fun and learning, remember, hit that subscribe button and let's continue to grow this community of people who love learning Spanish, who are exploring culture, and who are joining this global community. Next week, we'll be taking these ER verbs and IR verbs and putting them into the past tense. So you'll definitely want to be here for that. Thank you for joining me here at Tentáculo Clases y Cultura. Yo me llamo Kelly. Muchas gracias y nos vemos.